Well, hello, everybody. My name is Zach Ritchie. I am one of the longtime standing members of this team. And I am here just as everyone's coming in here, make sure we're all participating and all that good stuff. I see people coming in here. Super glad that people can make it right before Thanksgiving. I know we got a ton of stuff going on. James, Kelly, Matt, uh, Richard, Sonora, everybody here joining in. I really, really appreciate it. And we will be getting started here momentarily. I did make sure that the chat is open, so you'll be able to communicate with us. Um, any way to increase the sound? Hold on, let me see. Audio settings. Hold on a second. Put that volume there. Over here. Wireless microphone. Sorry, I'm doing tech work here. I'm sorry. James, you threw me out. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Um, just listen real close to the speaker. Anyways, so what we're going to be talking about tonight is a variety of topics, all revolving around how to utilize one of the most underrated tools that is available to business owners right now. And namely, we're going to be talking about business credit. Business credit's something that Fund&Grow has been built upon for, almost 20 years now. And so that is really one of those huge components that every business, regardless of how long you've been around for, or if you've even started yet, could be using. So whether you're launching something that's brand spanking new, or you're preparing to scale what you've already kind of got your head above water about, understanding how business credit really works and how to use it strategically can really open doors to growth and flexibility and opportunities that most entrepreneurs never really tap into efficiently. So the person that's going to be leading today's conversation is somebody who has spent, more than a decade helping business owners gain access to smarter funding solutions. So I'm, of course, talking about our CEO, Ari Page. Ari's worked with tens of thousands of entrepreneurs nationwide. And, he's passionate about teaching business owners how to leverage business credit to build stronger, more resilient, enterprises. So basically, tonight's session is about, clarity. It's about practical insight. And by the end of tonight's call, you're going to have a much better understanding of how business credit really fits into any of your funding strategies and what steps, can help you to move forward with confidence. Because as any entrepreneur will tell you, you got to move forward with confidence in order to make anything happen. So as other people are coming in here, let's see, we got a few more names in here. I see that the man of the hour, I see that our CEO, Ari Page, is also on. Ari, how you coming through, okay?
Good, good. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. You sound fantastic. So,
Awesome.
yeah, to everyone here, like I said, Ari Page has been a visionary in the world of business finance for going on 20 years now. I don't know if he's going to go super into his origin story, but as someone here, despite the just for men in my facial hair, I've been here for 12 years. And I've seen this man transform not only this business, but countless other businesses all over the country. So, everyone here, please take notes, ask plenty of questions in the chat. I will be here to throw them at Ari. Ari can read the chat as well, and please make the most of this opportunity here, because this is about really giving you the tools to make the best move forward going into 2026. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to the man of the hour, the CEO of Fund&Grow, Mr. Ari Page. Ari, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you. And I'm going to go ahead and show my screen here. Now I can see that people are still pouring on the call. So let's go ahead and give more time for people to come on. In the meantime, so Daniel let us know that he's from Boston. If you want to come
Ooh.
to the chat area, just show where you're coming from. That would be great. That way we can kind of create a little bit interaction here. So just come to the chat area. Let us know where you're joining us from today. And let's see where everyone's at in the country. because this is something for people in the United States. So we got South
Excellent.
Carolina in the house. Mm.
I'll say I just came back from a trip to Texas. That was the first time I'd ever been in Texas. Now, see, here's the thing. I think Joyce is cheating this here because Joyce is coming in from California. It's like you're not even done with the workday yet. So this is, we're already, it's already past dinner time now down here in Florida.
Now we have Virginia in the house. North Houston, Texas. Yeah, we were
Excellent.
we were just in Texas for another event. Zach was in Texas for an event just a little bit ago, and then
Yes.
we were in Dallas, and that was earlier this year. And then we were in Tennessee as well. Man, we've been to so many events this year.
Yeah, as I say, we've been globetrotting. It's been really incredible. And
Got
and I know that you've talked about before, Ari, about the importance of like networking and what opportunities lie in there. But I think the subject of tonight's call is going to lead into that as sort of like that's the higher level kind of like what could you do if you had your business financial situation under control, and
yeah,
what more could you be doing if you had that stress handled. I think.
yeah. So I wonder if we have any existing clients on the call so far
Well, that's
tonight.
a good question.
So if you're a returning client or just here to see the updates and get started again for another year of service, that would be cool too. I'm pretty excited about tonight's call because we got Matthew. It says I'm returning. Yeah, we got some great up. James is a returning customer. We got a lot of great updates. I'm really excited about this presentation. I do not think that you've seen this. I've debuted it to a couple different affiliates just to Daniel. We got a lot of returning clients in here. So I've debuted it with a couple of affiliates just to see how it goes, and then I had to make some tweaks and changes. So look at James said, I think Zach Ricci helped me out in 2016.
James.
Zach has been in every different department of the company. So, and now he is the face of Fund and Grow. And so
Oh,
when you
thank you.
hear from Zach, you're not just hearing someone who's good on YouTube, who's got a pretty face. What you're seeing
Oh,
is someone who's been in the trenches, really. He was one of our people leading in the negotiations team, which is what helps walk clients through the negotiation process. So we got Randy from Sarasota. We got Deepak.
amazing. Yeah, I was going to say, I remember the days of figuring out like how were we going to connect these dots for business funding in the living room of your first house. I
Yep.
absolutely remember that.
Yep. So many years ago. So Zach is actually one of my oldest employees. I mean, not physically the oldest, but like
Well,
worked for the company the longest is
I'll
what I
say
mean.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But yes, I've been here since the dinosaur days.
So, and guys, we're gonna be starting real shortly. I can see a lot of people are still pouring on the call. So just give us a second, and we're gonna get going. So we got Deepak from Colorado. So Freddie says, "Do you guys still have it done for you?" Again, so we have it done with you. It's like a mentorship program where we're doing all the applications. We're taking care of the strategy, and I'm going to go over all of that. You're going to learn
Perfect.
so much. You could go and do this on your own, or you could do it with us if you want to get the higher amounts. So we got David says, "Hi everyone. Hi David. Thank you for joining us." Randy says, "Watch you on Real Estate Commando." Okay, that was just the other day. Very cool. With one of our amazing affiliates, David. So, and then we have a David Hartness here from Dave from Ohio. So, all right. So we will go ahead and get started. It's 7:01. I want
Wonderful.
to be respectful of everyone's time. Thank you for everyone that's joined us on time. And so, Daniel, we're going to get into questions. So, can you do multiple entities? Yes, but we're going to get into questions. And so, as we get started, I do need to request something from everyone. So, go ahead, close your tabs, put your phone on silent, because what I'm about to go over in the next 30 to 45 minutes is going to be the difference between closing your next deal or watching someone else close it. And I do have a question though as we get started, and just answer it honestly, just to yourself. How many deals have you missed in the last 12 months because your cash was frozen in your last deal? That happens routinely. One deal, two deal, five deals. So what if I told you that every single one of those deals could have been funded with 0% interest, no collateral, and no personal guarantee? And that's exactly what we're covering today. So my name's Ari Page. I'm the CEO of Fund&Grow. And over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how 35,000 business owners have accessed over 2 billion in 0% business credit cards. And I'm not just teaching this, I live this. These are buildings that I've bought. This is one of the buildings I bought. I'm going to show you guys other buildings that I've purchased using corporate credit and business credit. But as we dive in, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. And over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint and strategy that we use here at Fund&Grow to secure 0% credit cards. So you'll walk away with actionable knowledge that you can use immediately. And at the end of the training, I'm going to take about 5 minutes to show you how my company Fund&Grow can do this for you. So if you like what you hear on the call, great. If not, you're still going to walk away with the blueprint of how it's done. Is that fair enough, guys? All right. So again, like I was saying, I'm an investor just like you guys. I own multiple commercial buildings and residential. I usually buy and hold, but I also fix and flip. And personally, I've been frustrated with the slow, expensive traditional funding that always costs an arm and a leg, and it takes forever to get approved for and to receive. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So many years ago, I discovered a secret weapon that changed everything for me. I started Fund&Grow because I was frustrated with the traditional lending systems, and I knew there had to be a better way. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys right now. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is what we're going to be covering today, which is the problem and why your cash is always tied up in the last deal, and the solution of how business credit cards can be used for any transaction to spend on anything in your business, even with businesses that don't accept credit cards. For example, how you can use a credit card to fund an escrow account directly, or to use to purchase anything, even if a business doesn't accept credit cards. And that's following Visa, MasterCard, American Express's terms. So we're not going to talk about anything that would violate their terms, and why this is a good form of funding to use along with mortgages and hard money and HELOCs. And many times people just don't even have the down payment in order to get into the actual loans that they want. So this is a great supplement for that. We're going to go over real client results, and I'm going to show you exactly how all of this works. And then we're going to get into the offer. So by the end, you'll know if this is right for you. No pressure, no confusion. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let me ask you guys a quick question. Have you ever been in this exact situation? Your cash is tied up and you see a deal you know is profitable, but you can't move on it. So if you're nodding your head right now, you're not alone. That is the number one problem that we solve. Keep watching. So the old way is using traditional funding. It's slow, it's costly, it requires collateral. And hard money is good, hard money is faster, but it's the high interest eats up your profit. And the bank door is closing for small to medium sized investors. So, guys, every investor hits this wall. The moment your money's tied up, your growth stops. So, while you wait for a refi or a flip to close, someone else just picked up the deal you wanted. This isn't a cash problem, guys. It's a liquidity problem. And we solve that with 0% credit cards that free up your cash and keeps deals moving quickly. So, as I mentioned, the old painful way of getting funding is through begging banks and hard money loans, high rate DSCR loans, mortgages, and so on, all the different types of loans. But let's talk about a new way of accessing funding to grow. So this new way is accessing up to 250,000 in zero interest credit cards for 9 to 18 months, no collateral, fast and repeatable, all while protecting you and your business. Imagine having access to a funding source that you can use over and over and over again without having to pay new closing costs and more, points at closings and so on. All of that is so expensive. So we help you access up to 250,000 in 0% business credit cards fast, no collateral, no personal reporting, and it's completely reusable. So you can use it for flips, rehabs, marketing, inventory, anything tied to business growth. And honestly, it's the easiest form of leverage available to real estate investors because it's the one that you're most likely to get approved for the quickest. So I got a quick question to ask yourself. If you had access to up to 250,000 at 0% interest with no collateral, would that change your business? And obviously, it's rhetorical. It would. And that's why 35,000 business owners have done exactly this. So stay with me, guys. I'm going to show you exactly how. So here are the qualifications that you need to access funding. So you need a 680 plus credit score. You need no recent bankruptcies or foreclosures or derogatory items in the past 2 years, and at least 2 to 3 years of established credit with reasonable limits. That's like in between 5,000 or 15,000. And honestly, the higher your personal limits, the better off it's going to be, because this isn't just a credit card when you're able to get access to a whole stack of business cards that don't report on your credit. And if by having access to good personal credit limits, it makes it that much easier to apply and get access to business credit card limits that are really useful, that are much like, that are higher. Obviously $5,000 and $15,000 limits aren't that useful, but if you have a whole stack of them, it can be. And if you have a whole stack of cards at 20 or 30,000, then that's even better. So if you just check those three boxes in your head, you're already qualified. Now you just need the strategy. So when you work with Fund&Grow, you're going to get 70% higher credit limits than going it alone. And keep watching. I'm going to show you guys exactly how that's done. So what's really important is to learn why you should separate your personal from your business. Probably a lot of people on the call are using personal credit cards or personal loans in their business. And we want to show you why building your business credit is going to be way better. Because first off, you're going to get exposures on your business credit side. For example, Dun& Bradstreet, Experian Business, Equifax Business. And then that's going to get you access to more lucrative types of credit, even beyond business credit cards. Like, for example, corporate mortgages and corporate loans. And those types of loans are completely non-PG. And we're going to get into that a little bit later in this call. I'm going to show you guys buildings that I've personally purchased using corporate credit. And then I'm also going to show you what I use the business credit cards for. See, there's a place for all forms of capital in the capital stack. So if you're a serious entrepreneur or investor building a real business, then that's where you want to get access to a large capital stack. We're using 5, 6, or even more business credit cards that are all high limit, where it's really helpful, because at first you might think, well, I don't want to have to juggle a bunch of different credit cards. But the reality is if this is the easiest form of funding you can get and it's unsecured, then this is what you want. With a simple 680 score, you can get access to 100,000 plus. Yeah, yeah, this is the kind of credit you want, even if it is spread out over 4 cards. So if you're willing to follow a proven process and not just wing it, you could go on YouTube University or Google University and spend hours and hours and hours researching this and still not get anywhere. And so the question is, how much is your time worth? If your time is worth $100 or $200 an hour and you're spending 10 or 20 hours doing this, then you've just spent way more than the cost of what our service even is. And so if you're worth a lot in your business, then you want to be spending it on what actually earns you ROI. And so we're going to show you how to do that. And we're going to also talk about how this is a strategic tool. So if this is you, if you understand the need to use strategic tools and you're not a tire kicker, then you're gonna really benefit from this call today. So we've worked with, as I mentioned, over 35,000 clients. And guys, the ones who succeeded are the ones who took this seriously. So if that's you, let's go ahead and continue. So first, I'm going to talk about what you can do with a credit card. So a lot of people think a credit card can only be spent at other businesses that accept credit card. Well, that's a fallacy. You can actually use third-party payment services that we'll introduce you to, and there's a whole variety of them, that will allow you to make a payment to any other service. You can make a payment directly to an escrow account. You could pay a mortgage payment. You could pay taxes, utilities. You could pay your payroll for a rehab. You could pay for marketing directly using a credit card. And if you're doing any type of pay-per-click marketing, you know that you can just put the credit card in there. Now, most of the time, People are just going to be using the credit card directly with the vendor. Like if you're putting a new roof on a flip that you're doing, you're just going to use the credit card and pay for it from the roofing company. Or if you're going to Home Depot to buy supplies, then you're just able to spend it directly. So in the rare instances, guys, in the rare instance that you need to use a credit card with a company that doesn't accept credit card, we're going to show you how you can do that, how you can do it quickly, how you can do it legally. We would never, ever direct you to violate Visa, MasterCard, or American Express card agreements. That would be dangerous. And it would only be dangerous for us as a company to advise you to do that, but it would be dangerous for you because it might get the card shut down. So we have to do this the right way, not the wrong way. If there's other companies out there saying that you should liquidate your card or get the cash off the card, that's not correct. A cash advance on a credit card is at like 25% interest. We do not recommend doing a cash advance. What we recommend is to use one of the third-party services. Now, with the third-party services, there could be up to a 2.9% fee, but that's just for that one transaction. It could, if you want them to send a check, then it'll be around 1.5%. If you want them to send a wire, then it's 2.9. So really, it's a 1.5% fee. If you want to go the cheapest route of just having them send an old-fashioned check. So now that's only in the rare instances that you need to spend your business credit card with a company that doesn't accept credit card. Most of the time, most companies accept credit card. Does this make sense, guys? So only in the rare instance that they don't will you need to use this. And little pro tip right here, guys. Actually, you're going to get cash back just by using these cards. And the cash back goes all the way up to 3%. So you're going to get cash back from using the cards, which is going to more than cover any type of little transfer fee that you might have to pay. And all the cards that we apply for are 0%. So this is happening for all of our clients just by simply using the credit cards. They're getting cash back. They're getting airline rewards miles. I remember a few years ago taking my entire family to Barcelona with business class tickets. It would have been $55,000. And it was all paid for completely free using the American Airlines points. And I flew out of Orlando, landed in Barcelona, a nonstop flight. And it was just the most amazing thing ever. So can you guys think of any other loan that actually pays you money? Do you have a mortgage that sends you a check every once in a while? Do you have an auto loan that sends you a check every once in a while? Well, credit cards do. Can you imagine that, guys? So let's say that you're spending $100,000 a month in your business and you decide, I want to put this on my credit card. Well, at 3%, that's $3,000. Why would you not be doing that? And even if it's one of the lower percentage cards at 1% or 1.5, that's still $1,000 in your pocket. And so this service is going to be paid back multiple times simply by using the cards. So that's something that our clients get to benefit from. Really, anybody that uses business credit cards get to benefit from. But we're focusing on those cards that have the higher points programs so that you can get the better cash back. So just keep in mind that you can't generate a 15% return on a deal if you're paying 15% to fund it. So we eliminate that cost of capital. And as everybody knows, in real estate, speed is money. This gets you first in line. So here's a simple question for you. Why would you pay 10 to 15% interest when you can pay 0%? Obviously, I know there's no good answer. That's why it works. It's not just about the cost, it's about speed. It's about getting access to the funding quickly. Most of these other loans take a very long time to get. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not a proponent of it. I've used hard money loans. I've used DSCR loans. I've used a HELOC. I have a HELOC right now. I've never used an SBA loan, but I'm not saying that it's a bad loan to get. We've had plenty of clients that have SBA loans. I'm just telling you the ones I've personally used. But all of this is very important and has an important part to play in the capital stack. The thing is, most people forget and don't understand where business cards fit into the capital stack. To eliminate your need to put cash into the deal, why would you not want to save on your cash? Why would you not want to have extra money for down payments, especially when your money is frozen in your last deal because you're working on selling it or getting your DSCR loan? or for whatever. If your business is needing to get more inventory, if you're doing marketing expenses, there's a lot of companies that are spending 50, 100, 200,000 a month on what's called pay per click marketing. You might be doing pay per click marketing for all I know. With pay per click marketing, you have to use a credit card. They don't even allow you to use a check. So, or to use your bank account. You have to have a credit card and they authorize it on the card, then they charge it right away. And so credit cards are a really important aspect to the capital stack. And more, other businesses and banks are leaning and relying on this type of credit. Instead of just using mortgages and other types of loans, add this into your arsenal. Make it something that you use. So I think a lot of people have heard of that term capital stack. I can see that people are saying, yes, no one wants to pay the higher fees for cash advance. That's absolutely right. All right, guys. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of using a credit card for asset protection? Asset protection. Let's talk through this. So let's imagine that you're buying a roof, for example, with a company that you're not 100% sure of. Let's say that you've never done business with them. Let's say that it's in a different area that you aren't usually buying, flipping, holding, renting, DSCRing, whatever it is that you're doing, but you don't have vetted, trusted contractors in that area. So whether it's a roofing company, whether it's any company, you choose to put the purchase onto a credit card. Now, what happens if they don't pay? Or I'm sorry, if they don't come through and finish the job? Or if they don't get the roof to pass inspection, or for a variety of things? What happens is you're going to end up having to fight with that contractor. And in many cases, you can fight with them for a long time. They don't care that you need to flip that house now, that you need to move forward now, that you have money tied up in this. You might be paying hard money numbers on that loan for a month, 2 months, while you're waiting, while you're arguing with a contractor. Let the bank become your enforcer, meaning all you would have to do if you put that transaction on a credit card is you turn over your credit card, call the number on the back of the card, and you charge back. Now, you can't do this if the company actually did their job and they got it to pass inspection and they did a good job for you. But you can do this in the case where a business is trying to screw you over. And it doesn't guarantee that you're going to keep the money. What it does do is it sucks the money out of that business's bank account and puts it back onto your credit card temporarily. And now the bank becomes your enforcer. Now that contractor, they have to go to the bank. They have to prove to them that they finished the job. Does that make sense, guys? So if you are dealing with a contractor that you're not sure about, put it on a credit card. That way, you won't even have to argue with them in the future. If they screw up, if they do a bad job and they're not willing to stand behind their work, you just call the number on the back of the card. The bank reverses the transaction for you. And good luck getting that money back if you've used cash or ACH or wire. You're obviously you're not going to get your money back in that situation. And so chargeback is a very important part of asset protection in the middle when you're doing jobs, when you're dealing with contractors that you're not fully aware of. So that's something that a lot of clients we've actually saved a lot of people in certain situations because they weren't aware of that. So now let's talk just for a minute about corporate credit. So corporate credit is different than business credit. So up until now, we've been talking about business credit cards. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about corporate credit. Now, corporate credit comes when you actually have good revenues, and we can actually start helping you build it because the business credit cards many of them report to Dun& Bradstreet. So that means you're going to already start building a paydex score. You're going to start getting access to more and more lucrative credit lines. And so when they first come in, there will be like vendor trade lines or store credit lines, like, for example, a store credit line at Home Depot. But you have to spend it at Home Depot. Then eventually you'll be able to get corporate mortgages. And so this is the exact process that I've been through, where I started with business credit cards. They reported to my Dun& Bradstreet. I built my Paydex score, and then eventually I was able to get access to much more lucrative types of programs, or types of credit. So this is something that is part of our program we're going to help you with. So this is actually some examples of buildings that I purchased using corporate credit. And of course, this is the Fund&Grow building here, and this is the Fund&Grow team. Um, and can you get a recording? Well, this is actually our Black Friday special, so I'm not sure if we're going to be sending out recordings of this because we have a very, very special offer for everyone at the end of the call that we have never done before. And even if you've been on our Black Fridays in the past, trust me, you've never seen this price before. So here's another building that I bought. It's a 3-unit building that's fully rented out, and this is another building I bought using corporate credit. So I didn't have to personally guarantee these buildings. This was loans that came in that were fully non-recourse. So here's 2 properties that I just recently rehabbed using 0% business credit cards. So they both needed a lot of work, and now they're completely rented out. And I used 0% cards, and this was all within the last 3 months. So so this is definitely a wonderful thing for real estate, for any type of business, really. Whether or not you're in real estate, business credit cards can be really useful. We have Amazon resellers that are part of our service. We have brick and mortars of all types, from restaurants to hair salons to all different types of businesses. It always surprises me all the amazing business models out there and how people are able to make money. So at this point of the presentation, a lot of people, I can see it in your head right now, that you're thinking, Ari, if this is so powerful, then why doesn't everyone already know about it? Why isn't everyone already doing it? And obviously, that's a good question. And honestly, the answer is exactly why we exist. You probably have tried to figure this out on your own before. Like I mentioned before, you probably went to Google University or YouTube University and typed in business credit cards and then felt overwhelmed. You probably wondered, is it even worth my time? And depending on how much your time is worth, then it may or may not be to go and to be Googling all the different types of cards, which ones report to my credit, which ones don't report to my credit, which ones have an annual fee, which ones don't. Are there other cards that aren't in my geographical area? In other words, in my footprint. And this is why Fund&Grow spent 18 years, actually, sorry, 19 years systematizing this for 35,000 clients. Now, I got a quick question for everyone, but only if you're comfortable with doing this. If you're comfortable with doing it, go to the Q&A right now and type in your total combined credit card limits. And don't be shy, guys. But what this does is this shows everyone else that this is a proven strategy, that other people on the call have access to a lot of credit cards, that they use their credit cards. And so whether it be personal ones or business cards, if you want to, tell us the combined limit, whether it's 40,000, 60,000, 100,000. Just don't brag too much, guys. But sometimes people are thinking that it just sounds too good to be true. And I get it. I'd be skeptical too. So let me explain why this works. How can a bank offer 0% credit cards? So you might be thinking that they make their money off of the card or off of the interest rate, right? So look, it's 120,000, 300,000. So you might be thinking that they make their money off of the interest rate, but banks aren't only making money off of the interest rate. Banks are actually making money every time you use your credit card. There's what's called an interchange fee. Someone typed in fee right when I was saying that. And so they're making their money when you go and purchase at Home Depot. Home Depot and has it built into the cost of the products that you're buying that they have a little 1%, 2%, 3% fee. And that goes to the banks. The banks are literally making billions of dollars in merchant fees simply by you using the card. And here you're thinking they're only going to make money on the card if there's an interest rate. Well, eventually they're going to have an interest rate on the card. It doesn't say 0% forever. It's 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. The longest one we have is 22 months. And so the banks are not just making money on the interest rate of the card, although that is something that they eventually want to make money on. But at first, they want you to use the card because simply by running transactions and spending and using it, they're going to make money. And they want business owners to have these cards. And another thing, it's a lead-in that they use to offer other services to their cardholders, like banking products and insurance products. If you qualify for these cards, then you're going to qualify for some of their other lucrative services. So you're put on that special list, and then they are marketing those other products to you inside your banking portal when you log in. The banks literally make billions of dollars off this, but yet 95% of business owners don't know how to navigate the business credit card systems. And that's where Fund&Grow comes in. And guys, this isn't some kind of loophole. It's a legitimate funding strategy that's been around for decades, just not everyone's been utilizing it. So I want to touch just for a moment on the cost of not taking action. Some people are deer in the headlights. They have analysis paralysis. They don't ever know when to get started. They're always scared of everything. But how hard have you worked in your business to build it? You've sacrificed time, money, energy. You're not going to let a lack of capital stop you from scaling. And that's honestly why timing matters. And the bank environment changes constantly. Right now, banks are still approving 0% business credit at high limits. But we've seen this window close before, guys. Like in 2008 during the banking crash, we were in business at that point. In 2020 during COVID, and when the bank window closes, it closes fast. So every month you delay is another deal that you're going to miss. And depending on how much how valuable your deals are and how good you are at your business, that could be costing you 10,000 a month. It could be costing you 20,000, 50,000 of profit on the table just by not having access to be able to move your deals forward. So I always say the best time to get started was 6 months ago, and the second best time is today. So there's a massive return on investment when using 0% capital. Many clients are profiting 15%, 30% return on investment. And again, there's a limited time arbitrage opportunity with 0% capital because of the current high interest rate environment. And Fund&Grow is the expert guide that removes all the risk from the process. So if you guys are more like on the 680 side, then on the first round of funding, when we go and apply for 4 or 5 cards, you might be looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40,000 on that first round of funding. And that first round of funding can come in within 14 to 21 days of engaging our service. Now, let's say that you're on the higher end. Let's say if it's 720 or 730. You could be looking at getting anywhere from 70 to 80 to 90,000 on that first round of funding. And additionally, over the life of the membership, which is 3 rounds of funding, you could receive on the lower end 100,000 if you have a 680, 690, or up to 250,000 or more if you have a 720, 730. And if you have anything above that, then you're just going to get a lot more funding. We're doing anywhere from 15 to 25 million dollars in business credit cards every month. So what does that mean? That means that we are setting up 15 to 25 million in business cards for our existing clientele. And our clients are receiving 70% higher limits because of our unique consulting method, where we walk you through interacting with the negotiator. Everything that we do is above board. So we walk you through that. That's something that I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to show you guys, this is a 680 client. This is a client that's coming. I know you guys all want to see real hard examples. So we're going to start with the lowest of the low. If someone comes in and they have the lowest score that we accept as an entry level, that's a 680. So this is kind of the worst example I could bring up, but I want to start and be completely upfront with all of you guys. So what you're seeing is all of the funding that came in over 3 rounds of funding. So this was the first round in November of 2024. Then I'm going to circle the second round of funding. And then, of course, here's the third round of funding. Now, notice that under this initial column, the almost all of them came and declined. Look at that. And that's even after we did our amazing consulting where we were helping the client boost their credit profile, giving them more of a rock solid overall profile and credit report. And when we applied, still decline, 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 decline. So imagine if this was you on your own, you would be so upset. You would be like, uh, not like a lot of people just don't take rejection very well. So look at all these rejections right here. But after the client went through our process, look at how much came in on that first round of funding. Look how much came in on the second round of funding. And look how much came in on the third round of funding. Sorry, I got them a little messed up there. But a total of 95,700. So this was a client on the lower end of the spectrum, a 680. Now, these are not personal credit cards. These are business credit cards that were all under the LLC. So if we had applied for personal credit cards, we could have got them way more than 95,000, but that would not have been as helpful because personal credit cards are going to affect your DTI. They're going to affect your debt to income ratio. And when that affects your score, it pulls your scores down and it makes it difficult to go after rounds 2 and rounds 3. So let's look at a client that has a 690 score. So this client had a 690. That's a bit higher. The same thing that we did 3 rounds of funding. Here's round 1, round 2, and of course round 3. And so what you can see here is the same thing. On after our positioning and everything, they only got $50,000 about in funding. But after going through the full negotiation process, you can see that the client was able to get 144,000 in funding. That is a tremendous difference than 50,000. 50,000 is something that's a useful thing. 144,000 is a robust business tool, and they're able to use the funding over and over again. So let's look at a client that's even more well qualified. So I can see Deepak mentioned he has a 760 to 780. So this is more like what Deepak's going to experience. A 770 score on 3 rounds of funding brought in $240,000. So as you can see here, a $63,000 card, a $105,000 card, and this is what our clients are experiencing. On your own, you would have gotten about 9,000 here. And again, this is after we put the client through the amazing Fund&Grow process to help boost their scores, to help make their credit score rock solid. And again, I want to remind you, all of these are under the client's LLC. Now, if you have an 800 score, you're going to get more than what we advertise. So we advertise up to 250,000 because most clients that come aren't quite in that range. And so we want to make sure that we're under promising and over delivering. But you have an 800 score, you're going to be getting more than the 250. So here's a client that got 351,000. And this happens for about 1/3 of our clients that have the super high credit scores. But because we love compliance, because we love being upfront, we're going to advertise slightly lower numbers. And let's be honest, not every client is looking for 351,000. We have clients that come and say, I only want 50,000 or I only want 60,000. So it all depends on how much funding you're looking for. But if you're in real estate, most real estate clients are looking for as much funding as they can possibly get. So when it comes time to get started, it is a simple process of onboarding. We're doing your strategy call. You meet your dedicated coach. Then we move forward into to applications, then negotiations, and you're involved in the negotiation process. That's not something that we can do fully on our own. We need to step you through that and work with you. And that's a really important part of the process. And then to the funded part. So where we're going to help you if you need to purchase things using the any purchase method, where you're trying to work together with other businesses that don't accept credit card. We're going to show you how that works. It's as simple as opening up an account with the trusted third-party vendor, then uploading your invoice, or an example of funding an escrow account would be uploading the closing statement, and then they're going to do a wire or a check or an ACH. And then you start to grow. And we actually have ongoing coaching and a coaching program specifically about helping your business grow. So here's Jake. Jake's in real estate. He got 223,000. His challenge was simply finding financing. And he, when you have a property, for example, you can DSCR, you can get a debt service credit ratio loan. But what happens when it only funds 80 or 90% of the property? What happens with like a mortgage or private money where you need to put money down? while business credit cards, especially 223,000 of it, really becomes that tool that you can use to be able to get moving forward on different projects, even if your money is already frozen. The majority of your money is frozen in the last deal, and you haven't been able to pull out that equity yet. All right, so let's go over our radical transparency promise and give you the full picture. When we apply for you, there is no bank application fees. You will not be charged any application fees. There are no annual card fees. We do not apply for cards that have annual card fees. And we already went over the vendor payments, so that you could pay a 1.5 or 2.9% only on transactions that are with a vendor that doesn't accept credit card. If you're spending it with a credit card, with a company that accepts credit card, then there's no fee. So for most purchases, there's zero fees. There's zero fees when you take your credit card to Home Depot, or when you take it to Lowe's, or when you take it to the local plumbing contractor or electrician. There is no fees. Now, in the rare case that the business doesn't accept credit card, that's where we help you get around it with trusted third-party sources that are approved by Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. And that's where there could be a tiny little 1.5% fee just for that transaction, not for your whole credit line, or as high as 2.9% if you want to use a wire versus a check. And again, just for that transaction, not for your whole credit line. Additionally, we don't take a percentage of the funding. So we do not charge a percentage of your funding. We simply have our membership that has been very popular. We've been doing this for about 20 years, in 19 years, but pushing 20. So now let's talk about the risks and how Fund&Grow mitigates that. So when Fund&Grow looks at your credit report, there is no inquiry. Now, after we've pre-qualified you and determined that we can get you funding, then when we apply with the bank applications will have inquiries. But we're only going to take you to banks that you have an 85% chance of approval. Do you guys remember those slides I just showed you? The ones that came in from declines and then got turned over to approvals? 85% of the time, you're going to get approved for the card, or we're not going to even take you there. We have this down algorithmically. We have done this for 35,000 clients. We crunch the data. AI makes it even easier for us to just pick out and determine exactly what is going to be your best approval chances, what is going to bring you your highest limits fastest. So you don't even really have to worry about the credit inquiries, but credit inquiries are something that occur. It could temporarily affect your score by a couple points, but then they bounce right back up. Then the last risk is managing the credit. What if you don't manage the credit right? Well, the credit cards sometimes have the connotation of bad debt. But all of you guys are on this call today because you're trying to generate an ROI for your business, a return on investment. And you're not getting involved in this because you're planning on using the credit the wrong way. I doubt you're going to go to Walmart and buy flat screen TVs with this. I'm sure you're going to be investing it in your business for inventory, for another flip, for whatever it is that you do in your business. And so managing the credit is something that we can even help you with. We have a Grow program, which I'm about to go over in a minute. And within the Grow program, we actually teach you how to safely grow your business and what are great places to invest. And you may have heard about us on, like, for example, on NerdWallet, or you might have heard about us on Connected Investors. We work together with the biggest names in the industry that stand behind us, that promote our services. And we're happy to work with anybody that wants to be involved today. So let's go ahead and get into the offer that I have for you. So I want to take a moment to highlight something really special that's included in your membership, and it's called our Grow program. So most funding companies out there that do what we do, they get you the credit cards and then they just say good luck. They don't teach you how to purchase things with businesses that don't accept credit cards. They don't give you all of the different tactics to be able to grow your business. But we know that it's only half the battle getting the credit cards. The real question is, how do you use that card funding to actually grow your business? And that's why we created the Grow program. And it's a monthly membership that gives you ongoing coaching, resources, and support, and it'll help you maximize your funding so that you can scale faster. So here's how it works. The first month is completely free. It's a $50 value. After that, it's just $50 a month to continue. And here's the best part. If you don't like it, no hassle, cancel anytime. We just want to help you grow. But this is what we found is that 87% of our clients choose to keep it because the value they get, the strategies, the live coaching calls, the community far exceeds the nominal $50. So this isn't a gotcha or hidden fee because I'm telling you about it right now and it's up front. And we want you to experience this value for yourself. So you're going to get the first month free. And if it's not for you, then just cancel it. It's as simple as that. This is part of our commitment to radical transparency and making sure you succeed long after you get the funding. So this is the special offer that we have for everyone for our Black Friday special. So this, yes, thank you. Kai says sick value. Yes, it is. So this is the special offer that we have. Now, if you go to our website, you'll see that our service is a $4,000 service. When our affiliates sell this, it's at $34.97. And when we did our last Black Friday special, it was at $32.97. This is the first time we have ever brought the price down to $19.98 to $1,998. And so this is something that we've never done before. And this is a 50% off our normal price. And we're doing this for Black Friday night only. So I want you to really consider that and take action, be an action taker. Go ahead and scan the the QR code, take a picture of it, scan the code, go to the site. If you're looking at the link, then it's fundandgrow.com/Black Friday 25 PQ. I know that's a bit long, but so again, I'll say it's fundandgrow.com Black Friday 25 PQ. So you can also call our 800 number. We actually have salespeople standing by right now to talk to you. And that's 1-800-996-0270 extension 1. You could also just go to the Q&A area, not the public webinar chat. Go to the Q&A area and put in your phone number. And we'll get those passed along to our business development managers, and someone will reach out to you right now. Right now. We have them standing by right now. So put your number in the Q&A area. Just go to the top of the webinar panel, and you click on More, and then click on Q&A, and then that's a private chat that will be able to, you can privately send your phone number in, and well, Nelly sent theirs in on the main chat. That's fine. We'll have someone reach out to you. And then that way, if you have any questions you want to get answered, then you can get those questions answered and get started. And Nelly, we also I'm going to also get into a Q&A just here in a second, but I just want to quickly touch on something because I know that some people might be thinking that $2,000 that this is a lot, and $2,000 is a lot. So excuse me. I was sorry. I was reading some of these questions coming in. We're going to get to the questions. Yes, for today only. So $2,000 is a lot, guys. I agree with that. But let's talk about this $2,000 investment. Let me ask you for a second as we get into this. Who here thinks on the call that $50,000 is a lot? I know we're buying houses, we're flipping, we're spending all kinds of money. So I know that $50,000 is a lot. $50,000 is a lot more than $2,000. So of course, $50,000 is a lot. But could any of you guys on this call retire on $50,000? Could it fund your life for the next 5 years? The answer is no. 50,000 is a lot of money, but it's not a life-changing amount. So if 50,000 is just a drop in the bucket for your long-term wealth goals and the goal of growing your business, then what is the $2,000 to get you access to up to 250,000? It's truly not even a cost. It's a minimal investment to access the systems and expertise that'll actually move the needle on your wealth. Honestly, it's the smallest number on the screen, but it has the biggest potential impact. So If you guys are ready to secure 0% capital and you're clicking the link right now, do us a favor, go to the Q&A area or the webinar chat and click ready. Just go ahead and click ready. So guys, if you're on the fence, watch the Q&A box right now. We're going to see how many others are ready. And so again, if you've already decided to go to the Q&A, if you've already decided, then go ahead and so someone's saying when I hit submit, I get check marks, but that's it. It doesn't move to another page. So I would try another browser. We've checked all the links today. Everything's working great, Bain. So go ahead and try another browser. And it could be that you didn't type in all the information. So what's going to happen when you go to this page, guys, is that you're going to pre-qualify. So you can't even buy our service until you've pre-qualified. You have to pre-qualify first. So once you pre-qualify, then you're going to be able to get access to the service. So that'll look something like this. You're going to first go to this page here. And let me quickly update. Oops. Sorry, guys. So you're going to first go to this page here. Can you guys see the pre-qualification page here on my screen? So can someone come to the Q&A area and just say yes? So, okay, cool. So you're going to fill this out. This is your first name, your email, your phone number, social security number is optional. Put your birthday. And then it's going to look something like this, where it says you are pre-qualified for initial funding of, and then you're going to see your amount. This was a test one that I did earlier, and it showed 40 to 60,000. And then it's going to show the total amount that you will get based on your credit report over the 12-month program. Then below that, you're going to see the special deal. Now, this is our normal deal here at 4,000. So when you run this right now, you're going to go through the pre-qualification, and then it's going to give you access to the deal for 1998. So if you want, you could book a call to speak to one of our business development managers later, or you could just put your phone number into the Q&A area. And so Gemon is asking, is it a mandate to pay off the card before starting the second round? So no, you don't have to pay off your card before going to the second round. You just have to pay off the business cards to 60%. So you only have to pay it down by 40%. On personal cards, you can't just pay it down to 60%. You have to pay it down to 30%. So or 30 to 35%. So on business cards, you only have to pay it down to 60%, meaning you can still use most of the cards. So Zach, you want to go ahead and get these numbers over to our business development managers so that they can reach out? So guys, now is a
Absolutely.
great, awesome. And so now is a great time to ask your questions. So Daniel says, what am I supposed to do if I'm trying to pay down my credit cards to get the second and third round of funding? So when on your business credit cards, they only need to be paid down to 60%. Oh, I can see that we have people, Fund&Grow people are already answering these questions. So Daniel's asking, can you do multiple entities? And the answer is yes. You can do multiple entities. So I filled out the app and the price isn't reduced. Do we have to wait till Black Friday? No. Let's see that. Zach, do you want to contact Ozzy and see what's going on with what this gentleman just said?
Yep, can do.
So nope, that should be showing up right away. If you go to the Fund&Grow Black Friday link, and if it happens to charge you more, we're going to refund that difference either way. The cost for tonight is $19.98, and so just fill out the pre-qualification. We'll have someone reach out to you anyway. So if you filled out the pre-qualification, we'll have someone shoot you a call. So Jamie's asking if my score is way higher on Equifax, which is 824, than the others where it shows 720s, will y'all focus on banks that use Equifax to ensure higher chance of approval? Well, that's the secret sauce, Jamie. The answer is absolutely yes. That's exactly what we're going to do. That's what we actually specialize in doing. So Calvin's asking, is this amount a tax write-off? And the answer is yes. This is a business service, so it's a tax write-off, and it'll go in the fiscal year of 2025. You'll be able to write it off. So Jeff's asking, how do we use credit cards to buy and remodel a house? Okay, so you can use a credit card to buy and remodel. So let's say that you need to fund your escrow account because you're buying a house. So you can use one of the third-party payment services that I mentioned, where you put your credit cards. It can be five cards, one card, 10 cards into the service. It's kind of like a bank account. You log in there, you add the credit cards to it, you authorize them, then you upload your closing statement, and then the payment service will wire the money from your credit cards to the escrow account. This is exactly the way the system works. And so these services are approved by Visa, MasterCard, American Express. This is exactly what they're approved to do. So it's a great way of being able to be able to use a credit card to be able to purchase a house. So how do you remodel a house? So when you're remodeling a house with a business credit card, you're just paying your contractors with the card. So if you're going to Home Depot and you're buying materials, that's a way of doing it. If you are working with a roofing company, you can pay them with a credit card. So let me know if that fully answers your question, Jeff. So Courtney says, I have to go open my credit reports before this form will submit. How do I secure your offer? Okay, so Courtney, what I recommend you do is just send your number in there and we'll have someone call you. And then that way they can secure your offer because your credit reports might be frozen. So if your credit reports are frozen, then no one can pull your credit. So we have to, like Courtney just said, she has to unfreeze her credit reports first. But put your number in there. We'll have someone reach out to you to secure the offer. And that way you'll be able to get access to the massive discount that we have for tonight. So Daniel says, what about if contractors don't take credit card payments? That is exactly why we just talked about the payment service. The payment service will send them a check. Don't tell me your contractor won't accept a check or an ACH or a wire. The answer is yes, they will. They absolutely will. And you're welcome, Jeff. All right, so can I start a business from abroad and apply for the loan so I can run business from abroad? You have to be a U.S. citizen and you have to have a U.S. address. If you're a U.S. citizen and you have a U.S. address, then the answer is yes. You can live abroad, but you have to have a U.S. address and you have to be a U.S. citizen and have a U.S. social security number. So Jamon saying so much valuable info. Thanks a ton. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it. A lot of times, people get a lot of great value, but they don't come to the questions area unless necessarily let me know that. So I really appreciate you for letting me know that. So he's asking, can it be used for mergers and acquisitions? I'm into M&A and buying small houses. Yes, absolutely. It can be used for mergers and acquisitions because again, with the payment services, you can pay for anything that's federally legal. So you can't use a business credit card for example, medical marijuana, but you can use it for anything that is federally legal. And so that's what the payment services allow you to do. And they allow you to be able to pay a vendor or a contractor or a store that doesn't accept credit cards. I think most stores accept credit cards, but sometimes a vendor or a contractor might not accept credit cards. Many times we have like escrow accounts that will accept credit cards, but sometimes an escrow account won't accept credit cards. In that case, that's where the payment services are used. So the payment services allow you to be able to pay any type of vendor or any type of escrow account because they don't care where the money's coming from. If they receive it through wire or through check or through ACH, the escrow company doesn't care where it's coming from. So James is saying, I'm opting out for putting in my social security right now. It's saying that there's a problem pulling my credit report. So now, James, do you have a credit freeze on your credit score? If there's on your credit report, if you have a credit freeze, then we can't pull it. So we like to have good alignment with our clients before they get started. So that means that we want to pre-qualify you and look at it so that way we're coming with an open hand. We're telling you the amount that we can get for you. But if you want, James, just go ahead and put your phone number into the Q&A area. The Q&A is a safe, secure area. Only hosts and panelists can see those. as opposed to the webinar chat. So you might have to go up to the top of the screen, click on the More button, then a little menu comes down, then you'll see Q&A. So then when you get to that area, then you can go ahead and put your phone number in, and we'll reach out to you guys. So so Cole is asking about what one of the payment service saying that it was that one of the transactions was prohibitive and have regulations changed. The answer is, if we have clients doing this every day. I'm involved in quite a few BRRRR groups, which is, the buy, rent, rehab, and repeat. Pull your So we're part of these different groups. We have clients using this every single day, Cole, and I can assure you that they will. The only one is that with American Express you can't do an escrow account. But with Mastercard, with Visa, you can, and you can with American Express pay a variety of other things. So so absolutely you can, and I'm not sure when you try to use the services, but yes, you absolutely can. We have people doing it all the time. I have done it myself personally. All right, let's scroll down here. Can you bring another team member in under the 1998? The answer is no. This is not for multiple people. This is not the partner upgrade. There is no. This is for one person. So one person gets started today, and that's who it's going to be for. It's not for multiple partners. If you want the multiple partner program, then we can give that to you for 32.97. So for 32.97, we can give you the multiple partner program. So if anyone's interested in doing the multiple partner program, then go ahead and put your phone number in. And once you put your phone number in, then one of our people will reach out to you and then simply tell them that you want the multiple partner program. So, wow, I'm just looking at these pre-qualifications flowing in. Look at this. We got 70 to 90, 60 to 80,000. Wow, we've got some really, really well qualified people on this call today. Um, wow. So we're going to have people reach out to every single person here that's ran a pre-qualification. So make sure that you're sitting by your phone. We're going to reach out to you and get you guys started, and make sure that you get the special discount. And if the link happened to not work for you, then we can easily do it for you over the phone. So if you haven't gone and ran the pre-qualification yet, highly recommend that you go and get pre-qualified. If you get pre-qualified tonight, then that's going to be your way of locking yourself in. Then we will have you locked in, and we'll be able to honor the price. So Arun is saying, till when is the offer valid? So this offer for tonight is for 1998, and it's going to be offered just for Black Friday. So yeah, I don't think we're doing a replay of this, but excuse me, it'll be offered until Black Friday. So that's a couple days. So if you need to talk to your partner or whatever, but don't get analysis paralysis. This is only $2,000. This is the lowest that we've ever gone before. You're in great hands. We've done this for 35,000 clients. We have an A plus Better Business Bureau, and we're really, really solid. We stand behind our work. Oh, look at that! Another great pre-qual came in for 50 to 70,000. Another one for 60 to 80,000. Wow, we got a lot of really qualified people. So Tina's asking, are we using our LLC to get the business credit cards? And yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Wow, 70 to 90,000 just came in. So are we using our LLC to get the business credit cards? The answer is absolutely yes. And Casey says, is this like building funding for a business? That's exactly what this is. Yes. This is business credit cards, which is another term for funding, but we're just being accurate and honest. You'll notice there's a lot of other companies out there that advertise that they get 0% funding, but what they're really saying is they're going to get you a credit card. They're just being dishonest about it up front and saying that it's funding versus being upfront and telling you that it's a credit card. That way you know that when it comes to using the card, sometimes there's vendors that don't accept a card, and then you have to use one of these payment services. So do you notice how upfront we are about all of these things? We're very, very upfront. We want to have good alignment. We want to make you so happy that you give us positive reviews and that you love us and that you refer all of your friends and your family and other investors that you work with. And that happens routinely. So Victor says, does, questions are coming in so fast. Does the LLC have to have a specific name? So no, it doesn't have to have a specific name, but I wouldn't call it like Victor's Risky Investment Club, you know. But it doesn't have to have a specific name. So does the LLC need to be profitable? Does it need to have P&Ls, tax returns of the LLC? So you need to be somewhat profitable. You have to be actually making an income. But Arun, this is the important thing. They go off of household income. So they're not only going off of or even asking for just the income from your entity. If anybody in your household has income, all of that is included within the income that's used on your credit card application. And that is a legal thing. That's not lying or making up numbers or inflating numbers. That is using your income. Like if anyone in your household has a job, if you have a job, if because a lot of times when people's LLC isn't profitable, it's because they are just transitioning out of a job into something else. So you can actually use your total household income. So let me know if that makes sense to you. Okay, Gerald says I'm gonna have to call. When I hit submit, nothing happens. Very strange. So does our business? So Gerald, put your number into the Q&A area, and we'll give you a call. And that way we can make sure that everything's locked in for you. So Tina asked the same question. Does our business have to have revenue already coming in? And Tina, this is gonna, if your business does have any revenue that will help, if then we're also going to use your total household income. So any person in your household that has a job, that can be included. This is literally what the banks ask for. They ask for total household income. So I'm not sure for the people that are saying that when they hit submit, nothing's happening. Like I'm seeing these come in. Another one just pre-qualified for 70 to 90,000. Another one just before that for 70 to 90,000, a 60 to 80,000 a few seconds before that. So what I would recommend, guys, is try a different browser. If the connection isn't secure, then our website's not going to allow it to go through because we're using date of birth and we're using like your address. So it's really important. It's really important that you that you just try another browser. So Rick says. So, oh, that one looks like our guys asked it. So he basically asked, so if you don't have an LLC set up, can you not do this? No, we actually will help you set up your entity. We will help you set up an entity if you don't already have an entity set up. So whether it be an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp, the only thing you would need to pay there is the state filing fee. We will help you with the articles of incorporation at no additional cost. So we'll give you the articles of incorporation, but you will need to pay the state filing fees, which most of the time is pretty nominal. So Calvin says, what if you were pre-qualified before this call? Well, then you're just ready to get started. Just, Calvin, go to the Q&A area, put your phone number in, and I'll have one of my sales guys reach out and get you started. So Freddie says, send me the link via text and email for the partner program. Okay, we will get you set up as a partner and as an affiliate of ours. That is awesome. For anybody that has clients that wants to offer this to their clients, this is something that you can earn income on by offering our service to your clients. So we get a question from an anonymous attendee. Are you doing a hard pull or a soft pull on my credit when I apply? And so when we look at your score tonight, it is a soft pull. We are not going to put a hard pull on your credit report. But when we go to apply, when we go to take you to the bank, then the banks will have hard inquiries. That is a thing. So, so that's exactly what's going to happen. So let's see. Zach, let's go ahead and send out that link to everyone in the chat. So we're going to go ahead and send out a link. If anybody had a problem getting started, that we just sent a link directly out that will give you direct access to the offer. That way you see the right price and you can just get started right away. So that's fundandgrow.com Black Friday deal. Yeah, Zach put it in there in a clickable link. So go to the webinar chat, guys, and you can see that and you can get started right away. So Svetlin says, I can't use a different browser. I'm on my cell phone. Okay, well, just click that link that we just sent through, and that link will definitely work, and you can get started right away. All right, guys. So right now is a great time. If you have questions, or if I didn't get to your question, come to the questions area and let's go ahead and answer that question. And if you're brave, just unmute yourself, and then we'll go ahead and answer your question live.
Now, Ari, one thing I wanted to sort of circle back on, we were talking about right at the start of the call, was we were talking about networking and traveling. A lot of our team has traveled all over. And I know that you mentioned the Barcelona trip, have been absolutely a full believer in the travel rewards element of some of these business cards, right?
Yes.
And so one of those things that we talked about, obviously investing, you know, uh, investing in yourself and more marketing and more inventory, et cetera, et cetera. But even just the organization side of things as well, of organizing the monthly costs, the daily payments that you have to run as a business by throwing it on business credit. Can you share any examples of just how you have been able to stay so much more organized as an entrepreneur by using business credit like that?
Yeah, so this is a huge thing. People are constantly using personal credit cards in their business because they don't have a business credit card or because their business credit card limits are really low. And then it affects their ratios on their credit report. You don't want to pull your credit scores down. And so you went by using business credit cards, what it does is it allows you to keep your business transactions separate from your personal. And so business credit cards that are not going to appear on your personal credit report. That way, the DTI doesn't affect you and your scores stay high. When your scores stay high, it's easy to go after rounds 2 and rounds 3 and rounds 4. So I'm going to go ahead actually and go back and just kind of show some examples again. So here was the example of the client with an 800 score and where they got 351,000 in credit. And so if all of this credit had showed up on their credit report, that we wouldn't have been able to go after more funding. So that's what they got in round 1. Here was round 2. And so if they're maxing out all these cards, then they're not going to be able to move forward for round 2 and for round 3. And so this is really important that we are keeping your personal and your business separate. That way, we're able to actually move forward and get you rounds 2 and rounds 3. There are some of our competitors that all they do is apply you for what we call round 1. They just apply you for the first rounds of credit cards. And so you might get a much smaller amount of funding, or they're applying you for personal credit cards. Don't fall for those companies that are just applying for personal credit cards. So Tina, yeah, I think there is payment plans. You just have to go to the payment page in order to get access to that. So
Ari, you're 100% correct. I have them pulled up right here. You can do one payment of 1998, two payments of 1062, or three payments of $750, and that's it.
yes. So you would just hit select plan, and then that brings you here. The one payment of 1998, the two payments of 1062, just as Zach said, and then or three payments of 750. Now, just like anything, when you're paying three payments, you're going to be paying more than 2000, but you're still getting an incredibly low deal for tonight. This is the best deal that we've ever done. Zach, have we ever offered it this low?
Hold on, sorry about that. I was muted. No, never. The days of going to 1998, I was like, there's no way we could ever do that. So I don't know what kind of magic you worked with accounting and with Daniel, but no, we have literally never ever gotten this low before.
All
And
right.
not to pat you too hard on the back, now is a time where I think small business owners need it more than ever. We're looking to really
Yes.
cut people a deal so that you can stop getting squashed by the 9 to 5 and really branch out as an entrepreneur.
Agreed. People need it now more than ever before. And so Jeremy's saying, I've used your service before, but didn't have an LLC, but we moved forward successfully as a sole proprietor. Do I need to do that or can I use my LLC? And the answer is no. You can either use your sole proprietor again, or we can use an LLC. So, and we could set you up with an LLC. So if I sign up for an LLC, A, it doesn't bring enough credit due to credit limit usage. Do you guys, can you use an LLC B to apply for cards? So we can use both of your entities. And you would only be charged one time for 1998. You would not be charged two times. So guys, I know you're answering these questions so fast, but it would be great if you left the questions there so that I can answer them live for everybody. That would be a big help to whoever's answering the questions in the background. Um, I know there's this other area I could go to see them. But okay, so let's see. So we have like six entities and the same applies. Sorry, James, I'm getting to it. I apologize. So we can have like six entities and the same price applies. The answer is yes. I don't know why you would want to use six entities per se, but because it's not necessarily going to get you more funding using six entities versus one entity. This is based off of the good credit. So that's why we have to do a pre-qualification. We have to see what your pre-qualification is, and then at that point, we're able to then show you exactly how much funding you're going to get. And again, if you guys are wondering what that looks like, so once you go to the pre-qualification page, you're going to go through this pre-qualification page, which is right here. See how much business credit you may qualify for. And then you're going to see you're pre-qualified for initial funding of 40 to 60,000 or up to 100 to 150,000 over the next 12 months. And then you're going to be able to get access to the 1998, or you could pay it in two payments or three payments. Okay, so Svetlana says successfully enrolled. Yes, I can see quite a few people have enrolled. Let's go ahead and welcome them to the program. So James, welcome to the program. Mary Analisi, welcome to the program. Svetlana, welcome to the program. Jacob, welcome to the program. Casey, welcome to the program. Raymond, welcome to the program. Ryan, welcome to the program. Ivy, welcome to the program. Moyayad, welcome to the program. And Chris, welcome to the program. So we are so honored to work with all of you guys. We are going to do a really good job in getting you business credit. And oh, Tiffany, welcome to the program. Awesome. So we have a lot of people that have successfully enrolled. If anybody's got any other questions, then go. Now is a great time to ask it. If I haven't gotten to your question, come to the Q&A area or the questions area and let me know if I have not got to your question. So if I haven't got to your question, I apologize. But I want to get to everyone's question. I see that at some point these were going pretty fast. Um, all right, and also don't forget, if you would like to put your phone number in, we will have someone reach out to you. So the phone lines are probably pretty busy right now. So if you put your phone number in, we will have someone reach out to you. So we still have 59 people on the call. Wow. Even after an hour and 15 minutes, we still have 59 people on the call. So let us know if you have any other questions right now before you want to get enrolled. We want to make sure that we take care of everybody. Zach, have you gotten all the numbers out of the area and got them sent over to the team?
I have indeed. And there is a question here. Does the 0% business credit offer start as soon as they get approved, or does it start when they start using the card?
Oh, that's a great question. So the 0% offer is not when you sign up with us. It's when we get you approved and you receive the card, and you can wait up to 30 days to activate the card. But most of the cards, the 0% starts when you activate the card. Is that correct, Zach?
Yes, that is 100% correct.
Okay, and there's a few that allow you to wait 2 months before you activate the card. But yeah, the 0% starts when you activate the card. So okay, good. So that was that one. Arun says, okay, got it. Thanks.
I'd
All
say
right.
there's another question in the Q&A section for you.
Okay, perfect. And Richard, welcome to the program. Everardo, did I say that right? I apologize. Everardo, welcome to the program. Okay, so we have an anonymous attendee saying, I'm a Canadian citizen, but have a U.S. Social Security number, U.S. state ID, U.S. bank, and U.S. credit. Do I qualify for the program? I think the answer is yes. In fact, you sound like a U.S. citizen. If you have a U.S. Social Security number, U.S. state ID, then that would that would qualify you for the program either way. So, yes, as long as you have that, then you are qualified for the program. Um, let's see. Oh, look, we even have people on YouTube watching. How cool. Was any questions coming in from YouTube?
I was checking on that. I forwarded them to you previously, so you already answered them.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody have any other questions? And if you want to unmute yourself, Zach, can people unmute themselves?
I don't know if they can or not. This is a traditional webinar. It's not the regular meeting like we have when we do the monthly premium coaching calls, which is our masterminds that Ari had talked about earlier, where you can literally jump on to those Zoom meetings and voice any kind of concerns or any questions that you've got about your business. Ari has done many of them. He's brought on some incredible entrepreneurs and CEOs that he's worked with, and we've all got to brainstorm and talk together. It's been amazing. So if we can't do the vocal stuff today, you can do it if you sign up and join that grow element of Fund&Grow.
So Kai asked a great question. And look, Zach, Freddie has raised his hand. I want to do, I don't know what we can do if he can't talk. If
Well, Freddie has been in communication here about being a former client of ours. He's looking to get into the affiliate program. So I've
got
already
it.
talked to Kevin about that.
Got it. Okay. So I'm going to answer Kai's question. So Kai says 85% approval rate, 35,000 plus clients. Impressive. What is your client retention? That's a great question. So we have about a 7% refund rate. And it's been as high as 7%. So most of our clients that work, that we start working with just absolutely love us. And as you can see from the amount of people here that are re-enrolling, we have a very high amount of clients that want to re-enroll, and we have a very high amount of clients that want to be part of our Grow program, which is this program right here with the live expert coaching, exclusive resources, because we want to help your business grow. And yes, we will be in contact about the affiliate program. No, that link doesn't work for partnerships, but just go to the bottom of our website and you'll see that there's a link for affiliates. So I have a business credit card already with a balance. Once I get a new 0% business card, can I do a balance transfer? Eric, many cards allow for a balance transfer. Not all cards allow for a balance transfer nowadays, but many cards do. Now, if you have like a home equity line, then what you can do is you can pay your home equity line with the card and then using the third party services, and then you can pay off the other card with the home equity line. So George is saying I qualify for 40 to 60,000. All my card utilizations are around 8%. Oh, that's good. I have around 45,000 limits, and I only high utilization is a Chase business card. I have 10,000 on a $14,000 credit limit. Can I still get the same for the initial round? And so your total DTI is under 35%, and I believe you would be just fine. So George is asking a very insightful question. He seems to know a lot about what's going on in his credit report. So many people have access to a lot of these cards already, whether it be business cards or personal cards. So this is something that we see a lot. So guys, just hold on one second. So I want to welcome George to the program. Welcome George, and welcome Virginia. So yes, guys, keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. Um, Keep your pre-qualifications coming in. We're going to make sure that everybody is reached out to. Um, and if no one's reached out to you, then put your phone number into the chat. And so Daniel says, can you talk about credit card stacking program? So yes, that is what we're talking about tonight, is the credit card stacking program. The credit card stacking program can build you up to 250,000 over a 12-month period of time, with your first round being anywhere from, depending on your scores, if you have, let's just assume you have a 730, 740 score, you could get anywhere from 60, 80 to 90,000 on your first round. You can expect your first round of funding to come in within 2 weeks to 30 days of getting started. So we usually say 14 to 21 business days. So 14 to 21 business days of enrolling in the program, you will be able to get access to your first round of credit. That's barring that there's any major issues on your report, but usually there isn't. Otherwise, the pre-qual won't let you get past that. So Daniel, let me know if that really answers your question, because there's a pretty broad question. Can you talk about credit card stacking program? So that's what we're talking about right here. What I recommend is that you go ahead and take a screenshot of this screen right here, Daniel, and look at this pre-qualification link right here. Do you see this, the red arrow I'm making towards this pre-qual link? Go ahead and scan the pre-qual link, go to the page. Once you're on the page, you can fill out the pre-qualification form, which is going to immediately tell you how much funding you can get. So we've had quite a few more pre-qualifications come in. So hopefully these clients are getting started. I see pre-qualifications from Erica, from Steven, from John, from Tiffany, from Gerald. So these are just pre-quals. These aren't clients that have signed up yet. They're thinking about getting started. So Arun says, does personal home mortgage impact the business credit approval amounts? Now that's a good question. A personal home mortgage will not affect your business credit cards, because they don't affect your DTI the same way that a business credit card will. So that's going to be that's going to affect you differently. Okay, cool. We got some good questions coming in here. So Freddie says two partner membership. So Freddie, put your number in, and we'll have someone call you so that you can get the two partner membership. You can get that tonight for $32.97. It'll still be cheaper than our website. Our website is for $4,000, and for the two partner membership, we will give it to you tonight for $32.97 instead of the $4,000. So Grace is asking, my account will be 1 year in January. I have green card and a bank account over 700 credit score and social security number. Don't have a company registered yet. Do I need to get a business registered so I can get better funding? Okay, that's great that you have 700 credit score. Zach, can we send a link to Freddie for the two partner one for the $32.97 price point?
Sure, I'll get right on that.
All right, so Grace is asking again, my account will be 1 year by January. I have a green card, a bank account over 700 credit score, and social security card. Don't have a company registered yet. Grace, we can help you get an LLC. We can help you get the entity set up. So that is not going to be a problem. That's something that we do for lots of our clients. So you don't need to have a business registered yet. We can actually help you get it set up. So Matthew asked a great question. So with a third-party processor, you can use multiple cards on one purchase. And the answer is yes. With a third-party processor, you can put 5 cards, 6 cards, 7 cards. You can put a whole variety of cards in there, and you could draw 5,000 off one card, 25,000 off another, and then initiate the transaction. Does your coaching program offer a step-by-step list to walk us through the process? And the answer is yes. So awesome. So Gerald just says, spoke with Josh, all signed up. Welcome to the program, Gerald. Thank you so much for trusting us and getting started. We're going to work really hard for you. So Matthew, does your coaching program offer a step-by-step list to walk us through the process? No, we're going to actually walk you. When you get started, you get a dedicated credit coach, guys. This isn't just some list. You get a dedicated credit coach. This isn't something that you're just going to have to follow a list to get started to do it. We're gonna be there for you. We're gonna walk you through the process. We're gonna do everything with you. And there's even some things that we can do for you. Most of it we can do for you. There's only one aspect of it that we need your help with. And Grace, thank you so much. Thank you for your good work. I appreciate you for that feedback. But Matthew, so we're going to walk you through it. We're going to help you go through the whole process. This isn't something that we expect you to do completely on your own. Even when there's work for you to do, we're going to be telling you what to do. We're going to be texting you, emailing you, and telling you exactly what you need to do and how to do it to make sure that you're able to move forward. So I see some more great pre-quals coming in, by the way. Deepak and Laura, both really, really great pre-quals, excellent candidates for the program. We're going to be able to get them a ton of funding. So yeah, Matthew, let me know if I fully answered your question. But yeah, this is not a step-by-step list. Sorry if I sound almost offended by that. We have a whole team that's working for you guys. So let me just quickly go back to the slide. So this is our whole team, guys. These guys are working for you every single day. This is what we do. We have a team of about 45 people that work at Fund and Grow that actually help you, get set up and help you do all of this. We've been doing this for a really long time. We've been in this since around 2007, before the crash of 2008. All right, so James says, do we have to call and ask the credit card company for reconsiderations if denied, or we want to get higher limit, or does the dedicated coach do that for us? So James, now that's something that legally you have to do. So we walk you through that. We help you with exactly the right verbiage, the right way to talk to them. And there's not going to be any type of misinformation or telling them the wrong thing in terms of lying or, feeding a crap story to the banks. No, we're just going to help you be able to position your company to the bank the best. And that's literally the only thing you have to do. That's
Now,
the only thing, and that's because that's the legal side. Go
Now,
for it,
in
Zach.
James's defense, Ari, at the very beginning of this call, he name dropped me from back in 2016. So
Yes,
it's been 10 years since he worked with us initially. So yeah,
yes,
things have definitely changed and have changed to empower you even more when you're dealing with these underwriters.
yes. And we are extremely compliant. So compliance is at the top of our mind. Compliance is the number one thing that we're focused on these days. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing is 100% above board. We follow the FTC and all the different guidelines that are laid out by the government. And so that's why you are needed for that reconsideration process. So if you're denied or if you want higher limits, then we're going to step you through that. And believe it or not, James, it's way, way easier than you might think. It's not that difficult. So Tina says, what exactly is the bank approving? So tonight, what we're talking about is business credit card stacking, getting you access to large limit business credit cards. So I'm going to give you some examples. So right here, Tina, oops, I clicked the wrong thing here. So right here, here's an example of what we're talking about. So these are all credit cards. You notice how there's a credit card at 105,000. Notice how there's a credit card at 63,000. All of these are under the client's LLC. So, and do we apply for the credit cards with our LLC afterwards? No, we apply for it with the LLC. It's not an after consideration. When we submit the applications, they are done using your EIN number so that it will report to the EIN number instead of reporting to your social security number. So an anonymous attendee is asking, do you have a credit inquiry removal process? And we found that the credit inquiry removal is not needed the way that it used to be needed. So that's something that doesn't work like it used to work. So if you dispute the inquiries from a credit card, they're going to shut the credit card down nowadays. So you can't dispute those. Zach, is that right? Is that across the board?
You are absolutely correct. So since the CFPB was put on a shelf, the process of credit repair and inquiry removal has changed dramatically. However, to go back to a previous question about credit card stacking, that's part of what makes Fund and Grow different. If you look online right now, if you YouTube credit card stacking, you'll see videos talking about like, oh, credit card stacking doesn't work like it should, and da 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 da. And that's because those people are doing it wrong. If you go out and you apply for 10 cards at a time, you're going to be completely bombarded with inquiries. You're going to have trouble getting approved for anything else after that. But if you do it in a true strategic manner, the ways that Ari has perfected over the course of 20 years and has taught our team, and our team teaches you these strategies to pinpoint which are going to be the banks that are going to be worth your time. We're talking just a few inquiries sprinkled across all three, nothing that's going to hugely change any kind of credit score one way or the other. And that's where that strategy and that knowledge is really coming into play.
Yeah, and we can do all three of these credit bureaus or all three of these credit rounds without ever having to even remove inquiries. So that's something that happens, and you guys will see this is all 2024, 2025. This is all, current stuff. So the different examples that I've been bringing up, these are all very current examples. So here's another example. So all of this is from, look at this. This is from just last month. And then this was from May of this year. And then this was from November of 2024, and it's a 12-month program. So this client with an 800 score got 351,000. So many people are going to get much higher if they have good scores. They're going to get much higher. So Kai is saying with automation like this, personal advisor team makes decisions time and efficient and effective, even for busy closeout periods. Nice. Thank you. That's someone that's admiring the business side of our business, not just the business credit side. So that's very cool. All right. So Matthew is saying, um, let's see, this is more of a personal recommendation for Ari. Do you use your services to burr real estate and you refi the property to pay the cards off prior to the 0% interest period being up? And thanks, I just signed up. So Matthew, first off, welcome to the program. Um, and he said used our services a year ago, but never fully utilized. So yeah, let's make sure that you fully utilize it. We want to make sure you get the most out. Don't let our product be something that you buy and put on the shelf like some crap that you bought from Walmart. This is serious for your business. And the answer is absolutely yeah. We work together with a bunch of different Burr affiliates that are sending their clients for the BRRR strategy in real estate, which is when you buy and you hold it and you rent it out and then you pull your money out of that property and then you put that into your next down payment and then you keep doing that. You keep pulling the money out of the existing properties by using DSCR loans. A DSCR loan is a debt service coverage ratio loan. And so seems Matthew is very aware of that. And that's absolutely what many clients are using it for. And again, welcome to the program. So that Chase card at 152, is that one moving credit card limits to that one card, or is that one card approved at 152K? No. So this card here, so this client here had received, well, I guess this Chase card here was declined, and then now it's possible, actually, James, what you're asking, it's possible. Sometimes people will have personal credit cards with Chase or with any bank, and the personal card will be an old card. They've had it set up for a while. It's not at 0%. Excuse me. And then we will migrate that credit from the personal credit card into a new 0% card. Excuse me, I needed a sip of water. So the credit stacking process. So let's say that we applied, and on this card initially we got $100,000 on this card, but then they had 52. Like maybe they had a $60,000 personal card, and Chase was willing to move or migrate part of that credit over. So we, in some cases, will be able to move it over. Now that one isn't the case, but look at this one here. Do you see how these ones say pre-existing? See, this is what that would look like, James. In our system, it would look like this. You see how it says pre-existing? James, let me know if you see that. So in this one, we've migrated them over from the personal side to the business side. Now, in the case of these being personal cards, the client couldn't use it because of the 35% ratio and because they weren't at 0%. So after we migrated them over, now they became useful and usable again. So if it shows up as pre-existing, then that's our system is gonna, like, for example, here was a pre-existing one, but we weren't able to do our magic with that one. But most of these are all going to be new cards. But just know if you do have personal credit cards that the interest rate is really high, you can't really use the card. If we apply at that same bank and get you a business credit card, then we'll be able to, in many cases, migrate some of that personal credit limit from the personal card over to the new 0% card, making it a usable card again. So, James, let me know if that makes sense. All right, let's go back to our offer page again. Absolutely, you're welcome. Um, all right, let's take a look. So, Brandon, welcome to the program. Robert, welcome to the program. James, welcome to the program. So we had a couple more people just get started right there. Awesome. Awesome. So if you guys have any other questions, let's see. We still have 48 people on. I know you have questions, guys. I know you have questions. So out of a one to 10, 10 being yes, I'm ready to get started, and one being no, this crap doesn't work. Come to the questions area and tell me where you're at. Are you at one, like no, I don't believe this at all? Or are you at 10? Or are you a 7? Are you a 6? Are you somewhere in the middle, in between? Let me know where you're at, and then come and let me know exactly what is holding you back. What's holding you back from getting started? What is it that is stopping you from wanting to move forward? So Courtney says that she's an 8. All right, so it looks like she's pretty much on the verge of ready to get started. So Michael says, question, can my business structure be a trust instead of an LLC? Now, actually, I do have business credit cards under my trust, but I would not recommend setting up under your trust. Only a couple banks will allow that. And in that case, it's the income becomes a little bit more of a question because it's a trust. So I would recommend using an LLC. And Michael, we will help you with that. The only things that you have to pay extra is the state filing fee. So we're not going to even charge you for our help with that. So Sonora is asking, is a brand new entity, uh, it's a brand new entity. Can I still get funding? And the answer is yes. So we're going to use your total household income, just like what every business credit card asks for. So your total household income, where we don't have to just give income coming from the entity because they are personally guaranteeing these credit cards. Although they won't show up on your credit report, they are they're looking at your total household income. So that if your wife lives there, if you have other people that live in your house, all of that falls under total household income. It's easy to verify that and look it up. So James says, "Oh, it works. Fund&Grow has made it happen before. Absolutely. Um, does paying off the cards allow me to get more funding for the next cycle?" Now, Tom, we would only recommend that you pay the card down to about 60%. I mean, paying it down, using the cards and paying them down definitely shows the banks that you're a good credit user. So that's definitely something that you want to do. So I just want to stop for a second and welcome John to the program. John, thank you for signing up. You're in good hands. We're gonna take great care of you. So back to Tom's question. So yes, paying the cards down is going to always help you get more funding on the next round, but we also need you to use the cards in between the rounds. So you want to be able to invest the cards, pay them off, or at least pay it down to 60% of the limit, and that's on the business credit cards. Personal credit cards need to be paid all the way down to 35%. So Michelle's asking, do you pay the fee after you get the credit cards? So now we do have a program like that, Michelle. We do have a program like that, but that program is pretty expensive. So that program is at 8% of the funding. You see, look, we have this program right here, which is you put $1 down with your credit card and then you pay 8% of the funding we get. Now, we don't have any special deal on that plan. But on that plan, you don't have to pay anything up front. But when we get you $100,000, Michelle, you're gonna you're gonna get an invoice for $8,000. Would you rather pay $8,000 or would you rather pay $2,000? That's a big difference. So we do have the performance-based program because some people just do not ever want to pay up front, and that's fine. And even 8% on the back end is very inexpensive. There's a lot of companies that are doing what we're doing, and they're charging literally 15% or 12%. We've seen businesses charge 18% of the funding they get. So 8% is really good. But of course, Michelle, $2,000 is, yeah, Michelle says no, she does not want to pay. So, yes. So we recommend that you get started, that you select the 1998 plan. This is only going to be active during our Black Friday special. Um, so
So Jamie actually had a question. Do you
Martin.
focus on banks that don't require documents? You actually said earlier we go with banks that don't charge annual fees. We're picking these banks out, and we definitely look at options that don't have tax return requirements. But in terms of documents in general, Ari, you know for a fact because I rewatched your unboxing video that one of the common obstacles in people's way of getting approved is sometimes these bank computers, they just want a little extra info. They just want to
Yeah,
say, yeah, we can see that the entity's up and running, but do you have anything that can verify that it's a real thing, that you're not just like working out of your backyard kind of a thing? So there are some documents that can help to kind of grease the wheels and get things moving, but we're not talking about like tax returns or anything crazy like that. We're just talking about like, hey, I need an SS4 document to prove that my business is actually a thing.
exactly. Yes. So just to be clear, guys, this is called stated income. They're not asking for W-2s or tax returns, but that does not mean that we can be dishonest with the bank. Just because they're not asking for tax returns doesn't mean we can inflate numbers or tell them anything that's not true. So when people hear stated income, sometimes they're like, oh, I can just make up my income. No, you can't. You can go do that. We will not do that. We won't have any part of that. We are a trusted partner with the banks, and we're only going to do what is completely on the up and up. So Martin says, awesome offer, guys. Definitely 10, but oh, he's a 10 that you get started. But as I'm abroad, I would like to affiliate you guys for sure. Even for $4,000, it's a bargain for the work you put in versus what someone would do on their own. And that's absolutely true. So let's just imagine that this took you, that your time is worth $200 an hour. You're a business owner, you're flipping properties, and your time is worth $200 an hour. This could easily take you 15, 20 hours. If this takes you 20 hours at $200 an hour, what is that? Think about that. That's that fee right there. And so you might as well just pay the fee and have the experts do it for you. And that way you have an 85% higher chance of getting approved. And that's literally what we advertise, is that we will get you 70% higher limits than you doing this on your own. And that's exactly what you can see here in all of these. Look at what this client would have got initially here on their own. They would have gotten maybe 70,000 on their own instead of 351,000. That is exactly the 70% difference that Fund&Grow makes. So, wow, we still got 45 people on the call. Guys, if you want a phone call, if you want to speak to one of our people, then go ahead and put your phone number in. So Sonora is saying, for the stated income proof, what will you need? So, well, we need you to honestly tell us, what it is that you make. There is a way to use projections properly. So many clients will use projections, and that's something that the banks allow, as long as these projections are actually reasonable and they're not just inflated numbers. There's a difference between inflated numbers and projections. So yeah, Michelle, we'll have someone go ahead and call and reach out to you. Zach, you want to go ahead and get that sent over? So
Absolutely.
for the stated income, though, there is no proof that's required. So just to be clear, the banks are not going to follow up and actually try to determine whether or not it's true. They have algorithms that can suss out, that can determine whether or not the numbers that you're putting in there are inflated or not. So, and it's just not a good practice to be dishonest with the banks. So sometimes people want to do that and they're like, "Oh, it's a stated income program." Yeah, but that's just bad form. That's not a good idea. All right. So, uh so yep, replays. So does anybody have any other questions? Looks like we still have 45 people or 43 people still on the call. You could either come to the Q&A area, or you could come to the questions area, the webinar chat, and we would be more than happy to get all of your questions answered. Um,
One thing I want to jump in with real quick as everyone's throwing their final questions in. Ari had given some advice earlier. He had answered a question about, hey, I've got a brand new business. Is this going to work for me? And, when it comes to SBA loans and a lot more traditional forms of funding, they usually want at least 2 years of provable revenue before they even want to consider you. So when you're first starting out, you're just supposed to keep your head above water for 2 years magically, and then maybe they'll start to consider you. But I know for a fact, I have talked with the other members of the staff. We have been able to coach clients into getting funding for their business when they had an LLC that was literally a week old. So it's
Yes.
not about the longevity of the entity as the only make or break decision. It's about what is the full picture? What do you look like as a credit user on your own? What does the business look like? And what is the schmelding of the two? So that's kind of where we're coming from when we're approaching the lenders, in these ways, is that full complete picture, not just one or the other. And obviously, whatever your strengths are, that's where you put your best foot forward. If you have a business that's 20 years old, that's a great piece of leverage. If you have a brand new business, but you've got a really good credit, that's your point of leverage. And that's what our coaches are going to talk to you about.
Yes. All right. So we got an interesting question here from Havan. And Havan's asking if my household income is mostly salaried income, and if it is in Canadian dollars, then should that work for banks? I also have some income from investments in the US. So now, Havan, do you have a US Social Security number and an address within the US? Because you're going to need a US Social Security number and an address within the US. Um, okay. So then I believe that should work. So, yep, because they're just interested in making sure that you actually have the means to pay back. The credit card lenders are just making sure that you have the means to pay them back. And um, so yeah, that is pretty common that people are using their income from their salary, but that's part of your household income. So Tom says, I'm going to reach out to you guys soon. Absolutely. We'll still give you a good deal, even if the Black Friday special is over. But I believe that it's still going to be running until Friday. All right. So we still have 42 people on. Are you guys just enjoying hearing me talk? Come to the questions area and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, Courtney says, if you have a corporation and a sole proprietorship rental income business, which makes the most money, which would I work with, or do it will work on credit card for each? So if I have a corporation and a sole proprietorship and a rental income business, so Courtney, see, all of that flows through to you personally. Does that make sense? On your tax returns, as the owner of the business, all of that flows through to you personally. So you can use your total household income. It doesn't matter if it's coming from your corporation. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the sole proprietorship, or it doesn't matter if it's coming from the rental business. Yeah, you said rental income. So if all of that is going to flow through to your personal tax returns, so that is all your household income. Now, our coaches will coach you on this and help you understand how that process works so that you better understand it. But that's basically for the call. That's the important thing to understand. So the answer is yes, this will work for you, Courtney. So, Havan, when does the deal expire? It expires this Friday. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we still have 40 people on. Jewel, welcome to the program. Thank you for putting your trust in us, and we're going to do a great job for you. Welcome to the program, Jewel. Awesome. Great discussion. Well, thank you, Courtney, because we got still 39 people on here, and they're not asking any questions. So Michelle says, what if you don't get money? Do you get a refund? The answer is absolutely yes. But if you pre-qualify with us and we've ran your credit, it's a soft pull and it's free, by the way, Michelle. Zach, do you want to send through the link again? So it's not a possibility that you're not going to get anything. But yes, we actually have a 60-day money back guarantee. Let me go ahead and bring that up on the screen so that you can see that, Michelle. And tomorrow, I'm going to get to your question. Just give me 1 second here. I want Michelle to be able to see this. So do you see this right up here in the corner? The 60-day money back guarantee. Do you see I just put this weird looking arrow towards the 60-day money back guarantee? So Yeah, we're going to take good care of you. So, Damar is asking, how does credit card utilization work? Is there help available with this? Yes, there is absolutely help available with this. That's part of the coaching that we do for you on an ongoing basis. Thank you, Sonora. Thank you. We appreciate the wonderful feedback. It's always great to get good feedback. Thank you. So, so Damar, yes, we're going to help you with that. So on personal credit cards, we want your utilization to be below 35% when we apply. Then, in between rounds on your business credit cards, we want you to pay the business credit cards down to at least 60%. You can max them out, but then pay it down to 60%. So that's not even halfway paid down. You know what I mean? And then we can move forward on the next batch. So Matthew asks, once we get established credit, will your team help us obtain more funding over the 250,000 or the corporate credit? So yeah, the corporate credit is more one where once you have the business credit cards and it's reporting to your Dun& and Bradstreet and Paydex, then you're going to be able to get access to those loans. And that's more like applying for a corporate mortgage and that type of stuff. So we'll walk you through the corporate credit. That's a little bit more hands-on because you have to be involved in that one. But if you have good credit, Matthew, if your scores are like a 770, like let's look at this slide right here, for example. So this 770 client got 240,000, and this 800 client got 351,000. And then we got some other examples. Um, so this client here has a 790 score, and you can see on just two rounds of funding with a 790, they got 338,000. Now, I haven't focused on these higher credit amount clients because many clients come to us in between a 680 to a 730. And so, the economy's been tough on a lot of people, a lot of businesses. And so that's why we say up to 250,000. But we have many, many, many clients. About one third of our clients will get above 250,000. And you're welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for asking those great questions. Because we love answering the questions. We got people on here. We still got 38 people on here, and they're not even asking questions like Michelle and Sonora and Matthew. So thank you guys for asking these very valuable questions. You're probably asking the questions that a lot of people are thinking, and they just didn't want to come and ask the question. But when everyone else asks it, then it makes it easy for them to understand what's going on. So Matthew, let me know if that made sense. So if you have a 790 or a 770, it's very likely you'll get above 250,000. Um, and
Now,
then,
Ari, real quick here, because
mhm,
that last question mentioned corporate credit. You've been somebody who's really sort of opened my eyes in terms of like the real, like the hierarchy of funding here. And that, you've said it before that corporate credit is sort of the end goal, right? Like business credit obviously is wonderful for the here and now and for covering the costs and better organizing things. But corporate credit, completely non personally guaranteed funding that's just in the name of your business, that's sort of the peak of the mountain, right?
that's right. That's absolutely right. And so and I wasn't able to get access to these buildings here until I built my corporate credit. And I did that simply by getting access to business credit cards. They report to Dun& and Bradstreet. They build your Paydex score. Then when your business has real revenues that you can prove on in your tax returns, because with these types of loans you have to show your tax returns, but then you're able to get access to this type of corporate credit. So, but I also want to touch on what was that last one? I guess it just got dismissed. Okay, so Matthew had said on the last end of his question, he said, or will you down the road offer long-term programs to continue scaling? Matthew, that's why people sign up for our membership more than once. There was about 6 or 7 people on this call that have already been through the membership that have gotten started again. And well, I don't know if they got started again, but they were at least on this call. And some of them got started again, and some of them maybe just were on the call to listen. But yes, so simply using the program more than once is going to continue that process and continue your scaling. So Matthew, let me know if that fully answers your question. And here's some buildings that I bought using corporate credit. Here's some buildings that I recently rehabbed using business credit cards. So Matthew says, just want to thank you. And yes, you guys answered everything fully. Appreciate you all. Absolutely. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us for this educational call. And we really appreciate all the questions that have come in. It's been a true joy to be able to answer these. I love being able to do this. So all right, so we still have 39 people on the call. Looks like maybe one person just logged on. Um, oh, welcome to the program, Landers, and welcome to the program, Alexandria. Awesome, awesome. We look forward to working with you. So Lance says, I'll be joining Friday. I already made contact with Josh, and I'm looking forward to working with Fund and Grow. Awesome, Lance. So thank you so much for coming and giving us that feedback. That's really wonderful. Yeah, so you've made contact with Josh. He's one of our business development managers, and you're in absolutely good hands. So we'll be able to honor that discount for you, and we'll be able to get you started. But guys, don't live in analysis paralysis. The best time to get started was 6 months ago, and the next best time is today. So if you want to start building this credit, it's not going to be built overnight. It's going to take at least 14 to 21 days for it to come in. So if you have deals that you're looking at, that you're thinking about, if you have inventory that you're trying to buy, then just know you can't get it the day after you get started with us. It's going to take us like 14 to 21 days for that first round to come in. So really recommend that you get started. And
So
Zach,
just to put sort of a finer point on this here, because I did double check the Zoom and we are going to be, it's going to kick us out in 2 minutes. Just as a final reminder, I threw the link in the chat as well as the phone number for our team. If you want a temporary replay of the call, it is on the Fund and Grow YouTube channel. So you will be able to watch that for the next 24 hours. And then Friday, so everyone's going to have turkey tomorrow. The day after, you're going to get more of Ari Page because our CEO is going to be live on our social media platforms doing a deep dive on many of the subjects and questions that we were talking about here and answering more questions. So if there's anything that you didn't get to, if you're coming to this late, keep your eyes on everything Fund and Grow because we're going to be back live on Friday.
awesome. Yes, and that's going to be a little bit of a different style. So we're going to be going over things, and we're going to be here on Friday just to answer your questions and to
Exactly.
get you guys started with, using the Black Friday deal. That you guys have already gotten early access to the Black Friday deal. And we really look forward to working with everyone that's gotten started tonight. And I guess we're going to be kicked off here in 60 seconds. So we still have 36 people on that are going to get kicked off with us. So it has like a 2 hour
Yeah,
maximum.
it's locked for 2 hours.
Okay, so where and when Friday can we learn more? Michael, go to our YouTube channel, type in Fund and Grow, follow us on YouTube, give us a like, give us a comment. I think that's what you're supposed to say on YouTube videos.
Yeah, you're
That's
you're
usually
basically
Zach's.
an influencer now. You nailed it. You got it.
Yeah, that's Zach's territory there. But yeah, yeah, come to our YouTube channel. You'll see that Zach is the main face of our YouTube channel, and we also post some good podcasts on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say thank you to everyone that's joined us tonight, and thank you for everyone that's taken action. We really look forward to serving your small business, and we're going to do a really good job for you. So, yes, James, thank you. Appreciate that. So, yes, we're going to go ahead and shut it down and say goodnight to everyone. And thank you, Zach, for staying so late.
Of
We're on the
course.
East Coast, by the way, guys. So, yeah, so Zach it stayed pretty late in the office. And yeah. So,
Well, it was an
anyway,
absolute pleasure, and happy Thanksgiving to anybody who's celebrating. And of course, thank you so much, Ari, for joining us here and really, really putting on an unbelievable class. So thank you all so much for joining. We'll see you again Friday, and everybody have a good night.